Hey guys, welcome back to Tin and Maxx. I am Tin with. He's not gonna say his name. Max. Max is also here. Um,
Oh,
we're gonna react to the new Dead Space teaser trailer. I've been talking about it in my Dead Space videos, but it is actually happening. We are getting a Dead Space remake, and there's this 1 minute trailer teaser thing for it. So we're gonna check it out and give our thoughts and opinions. And you're here to do it with us. Don't forget to leave a like down below. I'm so excited. Let's get right into it. Ready and now. So excited. Sorry. Love this game. Oh, look at that sounds. Sorry. I'll shut up. Okay. All right.
interesting.
Not a whole lot to go on. I
Oh,
mean,
really?
from my understanding, it's just a straight up remake of the first Dead Space game. Um, that'll be on next gen consoles, including like the PS5 and whatever the Xbox is called. So yeah, what any thoughts, Max?
I don't know. Obviously, it sounds like they're going to go into a lot of the mechanics. A lot of horror games now are using sounds to be really like nasty, and like you can even hear in like that trailer, like all the different sounds and
Well,
and things that are
replaying
going.
Dead Space, that's one of the things it did amazingly well. Oh, I'm gonna full screen us. Um, that's one of the things the first Dead Space did amazingly well was like its sound design was top notch and the sound of him healing that's straight up from the first game. So I mean obviously there's not a lot to go on here, but I think this will be a pretty faithful recreation of a game that's not that old.
Yeah,
But it'll be I mean this is just a teaser. It's not really a lot. Like we don't know what it's actually going to look like during gameplay and what's really going to be different cuz unlike the Resident Evil remakes, do you really need to toy with the controls at all? Really? Like I'm
no,
playing it right now on the PC and I'm using my PS5 controller just fine. Like it just fits. It's just it works. So I don't really know what I'm excited, but I also don't know why this exists.
well, are there any mechanics that, for example, were in like Dead Space 3 that you wish would have been in Dead Space 1, or mechanics that you wish, because like for example, like you look at like a game like Mass Effect, right? Like that we did Mass Effect Legendary Edition, where you're able to have um it's a little bit cleaner and a little bit crisper, and it brought us back to it, right? It made us where it's like, oh wow, we love Mass Effect, and got us excited for the fourth one, right? That's going to be coming out. Do you think that they're kind of going that same path with Dead Space, maybe?
Well, from my understanding, this is more like Resident Evil 2 remake type where it's from the ground up a remake of the first Dead Space game. The Mass Effect thing was like they took the original games and they remastered them, right? So it's not completely the same thing. I think one of the benefits Dead Space 2 has over Dead Space 1 is just better controls and gameplay because of the better controls. So I expect that like they'll at least with this one kind of bring in like the gameplay elements from the later games that worked really well into the first one. Because playing it recently in Dead Space 2 and 3, you can literally take the claws of Necromorph using your kinetic hand thingy where you can grab stuff. You can pick it up and you can launch it at enemies as a weapon. That's not something you can do in Dead Space 1, and I miss it because it's a lot of fun. So like I'm sure like quality of life stuff will be brought over and like I don't know, it's just weird cuz like with the Resident Evil remakes, it made a lot more sense because those games came out like 98, 90 freaking 7 and things. Like they're massively old games, and like they were, they look like garbage. They looked good at the time, but like by nowadays standards, they look like garbage and they control like garbage. So for that, like a complete remake makes sense. Like they remade the Crash Bandicoot series, that makes sense. Or was that, I don't know. But like that, like this one, the game doesn't feel old enough to really justify a remake. But I love the series, so I really want to see. I want to see it come back, and if this is what it takes for Dead Space to get a resurgence, I don't know. Like, also, where are they going to go from here?
I
What did you
think that's
say?
what they're going for. I think they're going to try to get people back to the series to say, hey, this is a horror game that's fun and exciting because of how maybe popular Resident Evil
Oh,
has
I'm
been.
sure that had. I'm
Taking it,
sure that was part of like the
uh,
discussion.
yeah, and so it's like, okay, if we could, revive. I mean, because Dead Space is terrifying. I mean, it is terrifying.
I've played through the game so many times, and there's still moments that just stress me out. Like even
Yeah,
in the most recent video we uploaded, I think yesterday, that there were moments where I'm like, oh my god, I am, I'm overwhelmed. It's a really
right.
well made game.
So yeah, so I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see what things they do because I feel like you can add a lot of things to it, which will maybe make the game a lot more enjoyable. But then, honestly, I think it'll give us maybe a glimpse, hopefully, into the future of the series, right? So even though I agree with you, it is definitely like not as old of a game as like the old Resident Evils. It still is something that's so exciting because you're like,
I do want to clarify. I am excited. I don't necessarily like what this means for the gaming because there was already that rumor that like The Last of Us is getting a remake, right? A game you can play on the PS5 is getting a
right,
PlayStation 5 remake. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
right,
Like admittedly the Dead Space one doesn't make a lot of sense to me either cuz like except for the fact that like it's not, at least on like PlayStation, you can't go back and play it because of backwards uh ugh, whatever the word is. Like there's no way to play it on PlayStation currently,
hmm,
which is a bummer. But like it's still like I have it on the PC and it plays great. It still looks really good for like a 2008 game. Like it looked really good at the time and it still looks pretty good now. Like what are they gonna do story wise and like that kind of, like is it gonna be a cut and paste of the original game just with better? I would honestly be fine with that. Like a cut and paste of like the original game but with upgraded graphics and maybe some mechanics. That'd be 100% fine with me. But are they going to do like Resident Evil? Are they going to add stuff? Are they going to kind of like mess around with things and kind of play with expectations? Are they going to add some of the enemies that show up in later games in the first game? Because not all the different types of necromorphs are in the first Dead Space because they didn't exist. They were created for like Dead Space 2. Are they going to be in Dead Space 1 now? I mean, I'd like that.
yeah. I think it'd be fun. And the funny thing is, so I was actually looking up while you said, but you already answered the question that I was looking up of when did actually the first Dead Space come out? And that was 2008.
Yeah.
Um, and, I mean, you're saying this is probably going to come out 2022, meaning that's 14 years.
Yeah.
14 years is a long time. And again, I do think um, I'm super excited. I think it's going to be something that horror has been like really been popular with video games lately, and I think they're going to nail this and knock it out of the park. And I think you'll bring a resurgence back to the series, meaning just good things. Because I mean, if you haven't played the Dead Space games, they're fantastic. So, but you should watch Tin as he plays through the
I think
first
I
Dead.
might just do all the Dead Spaces.
I love it. I love it.
Maybe Max, you and I can do Dead Space 3 if we can figure out how, because that's a co-op game.
I love
It
it.
is. I do say it's kind of a bummer that they're not continuing the series and that it is a remake. Because like Dead Space 3 ended on like a massive cliffhanger. I'm not gonna spoil it here, but like it would be really cool to like return to the universe that already existed
Yeah.
instead of like a remake. But again, I am excited. I love Dead Space. Anything Dead Space, I'll take
Yeah.
any day. But like it's just interesting that this is the direction they chose to go with a game that's not that old and all that stuff. And it is kind of concerning about like what that means. Like what other, like our company is gonna get ideas from this and like remake a game that doesn't really need to be remade. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
yeah,
know.
no,
We'll see, but exciting. I like the trailer. It is spooky.
spooky.
I'm excited to hear more information about it. Hopefully soon.
Yeah,
Hopefully soon.
it does. It does seem like it's very early in development based on what they showed, which is just like really just like a necromorph killing some guy and then Isaac healing. I do wonder if like that thing he was on, it's probably just a bench which you use to upgrade your guns in the first game, but it could also be maybe they bring in the crafting mechanic from Dead Space 3 because I think that
Cool.
was one of the more popular aspects of Dead Space 3. But yeah, I don't know. Really, just a lot of questions right now, but it is really exciting. Let us know down below what you think if you're into Dead Space or just horror games, period. Because in my opinion, Dead Space is one of the greatest horror games ever,
100%.
and hopefully this will be good. And like, I don't know, I don't know, just take Dead Space, put it on the PS5. I'll be good. I'll be happy.
Yep.
But I don't know. Yeah, this was just kind of us rambling about Dead Space and the remake. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Don't forget to like if you did and subscribe for other stuff like this. I'm currently playing through Dead Space right now. Max is doing Hollow Knights. We just finished a Pokemon that was like that went really super good.
So bad.
So
It was
good.
awesome. It was.
Yeah. So thanks for watching, and we will see you in whatever we do next.
See you guys next time.